Alright guys, got a nice video tutorial coming up for you guys, and today I'm with my buddy and we're going to make a custom blade, or he's going to make it, and he's going to kind of tell you what we're going to do.
Alright, so first what you need to do is you need to make a picture, draw it out, make a quick design on what you need to do, and then after that you kind of transfer it onto your metal, and then
you kind of just take off the bulk of the metal. You want to take off, the most of the metal that you're probably not going to need, and then you're going to start grinding down and conforming it, making it really comfortable for your hand, and making the blade shape really comfortable as you go. So it's probably going to change a lot from the original design. So not a lot, but significantly. Anyways. So we're going to go ahead and start cutting out the shape. I'm gonna start doing it, and then he's gonna take over and kind of give you guys a little tutorial right now. When you have corner pieces like that, and your blade's gonna go up right here, you can go ahead and chop those straight off. So first of all, before you do anything, put on some eye protection, and check which way the wheel's gonna turn. So now I know it's gonna turn counterclockwise. I want to make sure the sparks are going down, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut like that, and I'm gonna go ahead and cut that. He's gonna do that side, and then I'm gonna show you kind of how to do these curves, and yeah. So if just go ahead and put down your volume on the computer, and or I'll probably just edit it, but here we go. One more thing, you don't want to push. If you feel any resistance, you don't want to push. You want to let just very slowly go through, and that way you won't mess up your wheel, and you won't waste your wheel as fast. So yeah, take it slow. Now one more thing, when you're cutting, you're going to see the metal. If the metal starts to change colors, it's because you're overheating it. And if you're overheating it, you're going to mess up the steel. And once you heat treat it, it might warp a bit. So you want to make sure you don't have any color change. So you should have a water. And as you're cutting, you should cool it off. And I'll show you that in a little bit. I keep cutting. And I have the water here ready to cool it down. Alright, and as you saw, there's no color change. It's a little bit yellow but only a little bit. And that's kind of where you want to keep it. You don't want to let it turn purple or blue or like indigo color. You really don't want that. And now I'm going to show you how to do the recurve. So be careful, the steel might still be hot. I'm actually going to put the handle on. Alright. Right. Can you go closer on that? You see the color change in the steel? It's okay if it gets color change down here, but don't let it reach anywhere close to your design. So it's okay if it gets a little bit of color change here, but try and keep it small. And we're going to do this all the way out on the outline and up here and right here on the thumb ramp. And we're going to do that, and then I'll get back to you for the next step. Alright, now that you got all your little lines cut in, we're going to go ahead and cut them off. And the reason we did this in the first place is because you can't turn the angle grinder while you're cutting. You can't turn to do these curves. You have to do it in sections, and these help you just chop up sections a lot faster. So I'm going to go ahead and start off here, work my way up, and then he's going to go ahead and do these little parts right here. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go ahead and cut the shape. And we did the reason we did these little lines in the first place is that you can't really turn, like the wheel won't bend when you're cutting, so you have to cut it a section at a time. And these are going to help you, so these little pieces are going to just start falling off as you cut, and that way they're not going to be in the way, and that way you're going to be able to turn your angle grinder without breaking the wheel off. And I'm gonna go and start showing you that. You guys saw how I was able to turn this curve because all these were out of the way. And that way I was able to turn. And now that you have a piece left over like that, you're just going to grind from there on. And yeah, we'll get back to you for the next step.
And we're recording.
Alright, so now we got the whole shape cut out. And now we're going to clean it up a bit with the grinding wheel. We had the cutoff wheel. Now we're using the grinding wheel. I'm going to go ahead and clamp it to my workbench. And when you're grinding, you want to kind of grind in a, not just grind in one spot. You kind of want to bring it out, because if not, you're gonna have a lot of bumps in your what's it called, in your handle or in your knife in general. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust the thing a little bit, real quick. Let's see here. Actually, let me get the screwdriver. Alright, and let's get started. Alright, you guys saw kind of what I did there. I came and brought the finger choil up and out a little bit. You don't want a straight drop because then it's going to be really uncomfortable. You want it to kind of come down a little bit more angled. And once you get this, let it cool down and feel how it feels, and then you can adjust it a little bit. And like I said, just once you start doing that, you get most of the metal off. You really want to do a lot of dragging motion. You don't want to stay in one spot for too long, because then it starts getting uneven. And to even that back out, it's going to remove a lot more metal than you need to. Alright, so we're going to do that everywhere else. And we'll get back to you for the next. Alright, so now that you got the basic round portions shaped out, and you checked for comfort, we're going to go ahead and grind it out and make the final cleaned out shape. And we're going to be using 1x30, and I'm going to start by showing you how to do this part right here, and then he's going to take over, finish the rest, and we'll get back to you on part 2 for how to grind the actual blade. But for now, we're just going to go ahead and do that. And yeah, if it's done, it's ready to go on here. And I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit of that, and then you guys can take over. It's gonna start getting hot. I didn't burn myself right now, but it was hot. You're gonna need a water bottle or some water container, and you're gonna be needing to dip your blade and cool it off. And as you can see, I'm starting to get rid of all the little nooks and crannies. And I'm not forgetting about the finger choil, so you have to kind of bring it in and back out. And I'll show you that real quick. Alright, so as you can see, it's perfectly smooth now. It's all nice and even. It's really comfortable now. And what I noticed is that this little piece, try not to bring it down too much because it's actually going to be a really good support in your palm. And then once you get this nice and even, you can actually use the edge of the belt. You bring it closer. You can actually bring it in like right here, but very lightly. You don't want to grind into it because it's going to start grinding into the, cutting into the steel. So you want to kind of turn it like that, and then once you get here, you can go like that. And when you're grinding, you tend to lean into it like that, and you don't grind down the bottom, so it might be a little bit thick on the bottom. So try and make sure you keep it at 90 degrees or perpendicular to the belt, and maybe even tilt it up a little bit, just the slightest bit, like 5 degrees. Since the belt has slack on it, it's going to give you a really nice grind. And what I did there at the end is I grinded off all of these sharp edges right here. Not in, just a really quick pass. Because the metal, when you tend to grind, it tends to create like a sharp little flakes on the end, and those can be really dangerous, and you can cut yourself really easily with those when you're trying to handle the knife. And another thing you might have noticed is that little cut there. That's going to be for the ricasso pit. And so you got the rough shape out. He's going to go ahead and finish roughing it out, making it all nice and nice like that, making that really ugly stuff like that, and make really nice transitions. As you can see here, it was really choppy, kind of like that maybe, really choppy, and smoothing out the transitions first. So the little corners like that, smooth those out first, and then you can really take a nice little smoothing out, and you get a really nice finish like that. And right now we have 60 grit. It's probably more like 100 grit, 80 grit right now. It's kind of worn out, so we might have to change that. But for this type of thing, you should use 36 to 60 grit belts. And yeah, he's gonna go ahead and finish that. And this might be the last step for today, but yeah.